This is The Real Hustle, the programme which reveals the secrets behind the most popular scams and cons in Britain today. Hustlers Alex, Jess and Paul have been travelling the country to demonstrate to our hidden cameras exactly how the cons work, to make sure you'll never get cheated again. In this episode, we'll see how con artists can sell a hire car over and over again, clone your cash card, palm off counterfeit notes, and make money by bluejacking your phone. Remember, all the people in this show have been hustled for real, and after they were given their money back, they agreed the footage could be shown so that you can avoid being ripped off by the same scams. This is The Real Hustle. Hustlers Paul and Alex have hired a nice shiny silver car, but it's not because they fancy going for a spin. In fact, they're going to use it to demonstrate a scam that is catching out unwary car buyers across the country. They start off by changing the number plates to fake ones and removing any hire company stickers from the car and the keyring. They don't want to leave any evidence that could lead back to them after this scam has finished, because this scam is going to leave a lot of people feeling very angry indeed. This is the hire car scam. The guys drop off the car at an empty house they have taken over for this scam. They have put an advert in the paper offering this 12 grand car for £7,500. They're hoping to tempt their mark with the promise of a bargain. Jess is going to be running the hustle. She's playing a young mum who's been dropped in at the deep end. She's brought a box of toys and Alex has left a child's bike in the drive. These props will come into play later. Alex and Paul have done their part for now, and they promptly leave. Someone has arrived to look at the massively underpriced car. We have a mark. Now, you may be thinking that it's impossible for the hustlers to actually sell this motor. After all, they don't have any of the ownership documents, and won't the hire company miss it after a couple of days? Just how does this hustle work? Let's watch it unfold.
Hi, my name's Dave. I come to see you about the car.
Oh, right, yeah, hi, I'm Jane. Hi, nice to meet you. I'll tell you what, let's go get the keys. I'll be out in a second. Okay, do you want to have a look?
Firstly, as Jess goes inside to get the keys, she grabs a baby monitor from the sofa. Remember the box of toys? The bike Alex left outside? These props are being used to set the scene. A young mum, home alone with a child. She can't possibly be a hustler, right?
Oh, yeah, it's lovely.
How long have you had it?
Well, it's my husband's. He got it September last year, so not very long.
Next, Jess mentions a fictional husband, but he isn't around. So where is he? All is about to become clear.
The V5 document, have you?
I haven't actually got any documents with me because my husband's getting a new tax disc this morning. He's got everything with him in his briefcase. That's why the whole day's been messed up, really, because he's been called into work. I've got the little one with me.
So, the fictional husband's not around because he's gone to pay the road tax. And with the vehicle documents in his possession, the Mark has no way of discovering the truth about the hire car. All he can do is take her word for it. The ruse is set. Now is the time for Jess to strike.
But we do have a few more people coming this afternoon, and because, you know, we're wanting a quick sale, basically. I mean, it's a great deal. It will go this afternoon sometime. But if you are genuinely interested, what I can do is, if you give me maybe a small deposit, say £250, I cancel the rest of the people this afternoon, because you do sound, you know, interested.
Yeah.
So, that's her game. Instead of selling the car, Jess intends to take a deposit on it. Actually, she intends to take as many deposits as she can before the day is out. Jess takes him into the house to take his deposit.
That's for you anyway.
Great, thank you very much.
She hands over a worthless receipt, and that's 250 quid in the kitty. Mark number 2 arrives, and Jess gives him the same spiel.
It's cheap, isn't it? Why is it so cheap?
Because we're just wanting a quick sale. My husband's got a company car now,
And it works. Again, the bargain price entices him into leaving a deposit.
100, did you say?
Yeah, 100.
Jess's total is now £350. The third mark is also keen.
All right, if I leave the deposit today, when could I pick it up? Obviously, I know you'd have to talk to your husband.
And leaves another 100 to secure the car for himself until 6 o'clock.
There's £100 there.
Jess now has £450. Our fourth mark ups the ante and hands over £300.
300, did you say, yeah?
Yeah, 300.
Bringing the total to £750.
Yeah, so I'll write you out a receipt anyway.
And mark number 5 gives her all the cash she has on her, £260. Jess has taken over £1,000 now.
See you at 6 o'clock, yeah? Absolutely, yeah. Lovely.
All the marks have been told to come back at 6 p.m. to complete the transaction. But the hustlers have no intention of hanging around to meet them. They're off quick sharp to count their cash and give back the hire car.
The price of the car is so attractive that you just can't resist. It's such a nice-looking car for that amount of money. How can you not pay a deposit?
It's the greed factor, isn't it?
It is the greed factor.
You're putting the mark onto a position where he thinks he's ripping you off because he's getting such a cheap deal.
So, what happened to our marks when they turned up that evening to seal the deal?
By the time they all turned up at 6 o'clock, when I told them to return, me, the money and the car were all long gone.
Here earlier. Yeah, I'm actually here to see him because I've got a deposit on it.
Yeah, I put a deposit on this one.
Yeah, right on it as well, £100. Yeah, so I've got a receipt, haven't I?
You're not. Do you live here?
No.
I was in. Oh.
Yeah, see me in. Lynn.
No one's eating the cars with me, right? Do you guys know any?
No, I don't know
each other?
anybody.
No. We've just come here. I saw the car this morning. I put a deposit on.
Somebody at some point in the scam will push a time element on you. They'll say, oh, well, you need to leave the money now because it might go later. If you start hearing all that stuff and yet you don't have the physical evidence in front of you that the car is genuine, be very wary. Be very wary.
No, I didn't think anything at all. I mean, to be honest, when Jane opened the door and I saw her, she's a lovely looking girl. The first thing I thought was, whew, you know. And I suppose that did kind of, if it had been like a big 12-stone gorilla there, or 20-stone gorilla, maybe I wouldn't have handed over the £100 so easily.
Counterfeiting's a serious crime that can affect individuals and businesses of all kinds. In 2004, around 325,000 counterfeits were taken out of circulation. Now, another way of putting that is to say that there are about 6,000 genuine notes for every counterfeit. But of course, counterfeiting is a very serious crime, so nearly every one of those counterfeits represents a crime.
You know, it's one thing being able to create good counterfeit money, but it has to stand up to some kind of inspection. But what would be really clever is to pass the money in such a way that it's not inspected. And that's exactly the kind of scam that a good hustler will come up with to avoid having the counterfeit money checked at all.
Paul has come to this corner shop to demonstrate a scam that's losing unaware shopkeepers thousands of pounds a year. The shop's been rigged with our hidden cameras to cover the action.
Hiya. Good evening, sir.
This is the counterfeit cash con.
Let me scan it for you.
Shopkeepers who operate tills are constantly on the lookout for fake notes. But here's a trick that all shop owners should definitely be aware of. Paul's about to demonstrate how he could pass counterfeit notes if he wanted to. Paul buys some chewing gum and a cheap DVD. You'll see what the DVD is for in a minute.
Can you break that?
Yes, sure.
Sorry, so big.
Paul pays the shopkeeper with a genuine £50 note. Now keep your eye on Paul's left hand. Did you see it? He slipped some notes from his pocket under the DVD box. The shopkeeper gives Paul his change. It's 2 20s and some coins.
Thank you very much.
As he distracts the shopkeeper by dropping his change,
Do you have any 10s as well? Would that be okay?
For you.
Paul swaps the real notes that just came out of the till for his own special 20s. And because the normally cautious shopkeeper thought those notes had just come out of his own till, he swaps them for genuine tenors without question. The shopkeeper was lucky, but if Paul wanted to, he could have just walked away with £40 in profit at the shop's expense.
A lot of people might be tempted to throw away a counterfeit, but because it's a crime, it's very important, I think, that they hand them into the police or hand them into their local bank or post office so that actually we can collect the evidence about the counterfeits to help us understand what's going on better.
Sources have reported that Britain is in the grip of a high-tech crime wave, and one of the latest targets is one of our closest friends, the mobile phone. Experts have discovered a security flaw in some of the most popular Bluetooth-enabled phones that allows others to hack into your handset and take control of it. Our hustlers are going to demonstrate for our hidden cameras just how vulnerable your phone can be to a silent attack. This is the Bluetooth scam.
The problem with some Bluetooth phones is you can make an unauthorised connection to the phone and effectively take over the phone, read the contents out, so the phone book, SMS messages, even actually make calls with it.
So, how does the Bluetooth hack work? Our hustlers are going to demonstrate it here. Jess and Paul's phones have their Bluetooth turned on. Alex uses his mobile pocket PC. Because of a security flaw in Jess's phone, he is able to locate the Bluetooth signal, hack directly into the handset and take control of it. Now he can make a call from Jess's phone to Paul's phone. This technique is known as bluejacking.
The Bluetooth hustle works by using the Bluetooth feature on mobile phones. It's a very modern, very useful, very easy piece of technology. They can connect to your phone without you knowing it. Your phone will not even show that it's connected to something.
They're now ready to test it on the public. Alex has set his pocket computer to search for Bluetooth signals. Now he's pinpointed a mark with an enabled handset. He can go for the hack. Now he's in and making a call using the Mark's phone. But where's the actual scam here? It's in the number that Alex is calling from the Mark's phone. Our hustlers have set up their own premium rate line where calls are charged at £1.50 a minute. So this guy is having the money taken from his pocket, but he's totally oblivious. And if the Mark doesn't realise his phone is calling the hustler's premium line, during his journey between Manchester and Liverpool, he will lose £75 in call charges. Ouch. So, if Alex spends some time here, he can really take home the bacon. In an hour, he manages to target 20 phones with an average call time of 15 minutes, making him a grand total of £500. Our hustlers have proved for those with the technology and the know-how, this is a really money-spinning scam.
The simplest and best way to protect yourself against this scam is just simply to keep your Bluetooth turned off unless you're actually using it.
If you do not switch off the Bluetooth feature on your phone when you're not using it, you're in danger of somebody finding a way in. This is a really interesting bet because it looks like a magic trick, but in actual fact we use it to steal money from the till.
People often like to perform tricks at bars. Barmen do tricks themselves to amuse their guests. But my advice would be, when those tricks start involving cash, just keep your wits about you and be a bit wary.
Paul has come to a busy bar to perform another proposition bet. Our cameras have been hidden amongst the crowd to capture the action. He's been entertaining the punters at the bar with a few simple magic tricks and has got a bit of a crowd together. He doesn't know it, but this barman is about to be fleeced for £40. Just watch how this hustle works.
They ever do it for money?
Not really.
You want to see something for money? I mean,
I'm not gambling, mate. No.
Oh, come on, it's just for a little bit.
All right.
I promise you, if I can do it, it is the most amazing thing you've ever seen.
Okay, that's good.
Go to the till,
Okay.
take out a £20 note, bring it here.
There you go.
Right, if I just walk out with that, this is great magic. Yeah, I'm going to do a trick. Maybe a trick that you won't forget, okay? This could be any £20 note, so have you got a pen?
Yeah.
Like a nice thick one.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do me a favour, write your name on there. That's completely against the law. So, I'll confiscate the evidence when we're done. Now, look, if I can do a miracle with this, I get to keep £20 note. But it has to be something absolutely out of control.
Amazing, yeah.
All right, out of control. Do me a favour, take it, and you got a napkin, like a,
Yeah.
a hanky or something. Oh, look, we've got, do me a favour, there's nothing in there, just check that out. Fold it in half. Not that. All right, fold it in half again. All right, let me see it. What? Okay, we'll fold it in half one more time. Do me a favour, just hold it here like that. Okay, don't move. All right, nothing at all in a napkin, all right? Yeah?
Yep.
This is what I'm going to do. Put that here, okay? Put it in there like that. Now, can you feel that? Just feel it underneath. Don't look, just feel it underneath, okay?
Okay.
All right, you want to feel it? Make sure it's there. Feeling only, it's there. You want to do it? Just go underneath it. There you go. All right, and there. Now, you notice that I never reach underneath, okay? Twist it off like that, okay? Don't put any holes in it, nothing like that. And it's lying a little bit loose in there. Now watch. You go to my pocket. This is why we do it with your £20 now. How are you feeling now? I told you it's a trick you'd never forget, right? I mean, exactly. At the beginning, what, a couple of minutes ago, you went to the till, you took out a £20 note, you wrote your name on it, it went in there. We all checked it was in there first, and then we burned it. There's no way anything else could have happened.
Nah.
Do me a favour. Go back to the till. Take out a £20 note and see what's written on it. Is that it?
That's the one.
I think the agreement was if I did something that you wouldn't forget.
It's yours.
Thank you very much. All right. Take care, guys. All right. Bye-bye.
So, it was an impressive trick. Paul won £20 fair and square off the barman, right? Wrong. Paul has actually ended up £40 in profit, as we mentioned earlier. So, how did he do it? Remember when Paul asked the crowd to check he had a note hidden under the paper napkin? Well, one member of the crowd is actually fellow hustler Alex. Alex has now nicked the barman's 20.
I never reach underneath.
And he's off to play his role in the con. He goes down to the other end of the bar, where Jess has been keeping the barmaid distracted. By simply ordering a drink, Alex gets the bar lady to do his dirty work. The signed 20 really is now back in the till. But here's the clever bit. The barmaid has given Alex his drink and the change from the £20 note, but actually Alex was paying for the drink with a note that already belonged to the bar. So far the hustlers are up a bottle of beer and the change from 20 quid. Next, as the trick draws to a close, Paul asks the barman to check in the till for the signed note. Sure enough, it's in there. As he hands it over, the barman knows he's lost £20 on this bet. But since he doesn't know how it was done, he still doesn't know about the other 20 that came out of the till in change. Bar staff will never realise until it's time to cash up at the end of the night.
Pinch and push is a technique where the pickpocket pinches the surface of your jeans and then with another finger pushes up against your wallet. And because your wallet is between your jeans and you don't feel the pinch. And when you pull back on the material and push up with the wallet, there's enough room that you cannot feel the wallet moving. The general rule is if it's easy for you to get at it, it's easy for the pickpocket to get at it. Put it in your front pocket, it's always there. And if anybody were to go into that pocket, you'd know about it. But you put it in your back pocket, it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and it could be out of your pocket before you know it.
The hustlers have come to a shopping centre to perform a wallet snatch for our hidden cameras. This is the pinch-push pocket pick. Notice how they take up strategic positions. Paul is the pickpocket who will perform the dip. He's stationed in the area below the escalators. And Alex will be the runner. He's in position at the top of the escalators. All they need now is a mark. And there he is. That's their mark.
Sorry, mate.
Paul pretends to bump into the mark and apologises for nudging him. This is the key manoeuvre. He's pinched the mark's back pocket and pushed his wallet up. That's why it's called the pinch push. Now the wallet's ripe for the plucking. As Alex the runner approaches down the escalator, Paul makes his move. And there it is. Alex is off undetected and the mark is one wallet poorer.
Terrible place to put something. It's a terrible place to put anything of value. If you put something in your back pocket, someone's going to take it.
Organised crime gangs are operating cash machine fraud all over the UK. In 2004, the total sum of money lost was a staggering £75 million. And one of the most common methods con men use to commit cash point fraud is with a fixed device that is very tricky to spot. Our hustlers are going to demonstrate for our secret cameras how a con artist can rig a cash point with a device that will clone your cash card and enable them to steal money from your account.
One of the most prevalent scams in recent years has been the placing of card readers on ATMs. The idea is simple. You put a shell over the ATM so that it looks like a legitimate part of that device. Victims come up and place their credit card or ATM card into this, enter their code, withdraw money, and then receive their card back. What they don't realize is that in between their transaction is an illegal device that reads every single piece of data on your card and records it.
Hustler Paul, rigged up with a camera hidden in his bag, enters a shop which has a cash machine inside. In his hand he has what is known as a skimming device. Now that the coast is clear, he moves in to fit the device over the card reader slot. This device works in two ways. The skimmer is able to read the magnetic stripe of your card and is fitted with a hidden mini camera that is overlooking the pin pad to record the pin number. Jess now comes to use the cash point ahead of another queuing customer. He will be our first mark. What this move does is to prove subconsciously to the mark that the machine is perfectly safe. Having seen Jess successfully get some cash out, the mark will suspend any possible suspicions that he might have. Now the first mark inserts his card. The skimmer reads his card details whilst the camera clearly captures his 4-digit PIN. His card is returned and he takes his cash. Even though the cash has come out, he's already lost out. His details have been captured by the hustlers, and yet he doesn't suspect a thing. And now comes mark number 2. Again, the machine reads the magnetic stripe on his card and the camera records his PIN. Once our second mark has collected his cash and left the shop, Paul will move in to collect the skimmer. With 2 sets of card details bagged, our hustlers will show us how this becomes a money spinner.
Essentially, the next step after having read the cards and taken the device off the cash machine is downloading all the information from the card reader onto a laptop. Then the hustlers would use a very cheap card reader themselves, which you connect up to your laptop. What that enables them to do is to program other cards. Now, all they need is another card with a magnetic strip on the back. Mobile top-up cards seem to be the hustlers' favourites at the moment. Any mobile top-up cards will do. They take them, swipe them once to erase them, and then swipe them again, thus programming them with the card details of one of the numerous cards that they've copied. Now, armed with that, they can now go to a cash machine, stick that top-up card in any cash machine, and withdraw cash.
Mobile phone top-up cards. Don't believe us? Just check this out. Alex is now going to use this clone card in this ATM. He inserts the card. Uses the Marks pin recorded on the minicam and manages to withdraw this £100 cash. He later returned the money, but some of the devices being used by the real thieves are even more elaborate.
This one here is basically the whole fascia that would go over a cash point machine. As you can see, it's very authentic looking. It's got all the stickers that would normally be on a normal cash point. That'll be stuck down with double-sided tape onto the cash point. So the rear of it is quite crude. You can see that it's all bits of electronics stuck in with different forms of like Airfix and Airfix type glue, made up of bits of card. You can see all the bits of card they use to create the slots. And to the top of the ATM, they'll put normally something like this. Inside here, you have a little pinhole camera, and there's certain bits of electronics that they've stripped out of cameras and what have you, and that takes a picture of you putting your PIN number in.
There's a couple of things you should definitely watch out for when you're using your cash card at any cash machine anywhere in the world. Number one, if there's anything protruding, sticking out, looking suspicious anywhere near where the card slot is, do not use that machine. Try and find another one. And number two, and most importantly of all, always shield your PIN. Remember, if hustlers get what's on the back of a magnetic strip, they cannot use it without your PIN number.
So that's it for this week. Our hustlers have sold a hire car over and over again, made premium rate calls on other people's mobiles, and cloned some cash point cards. But don't worry, all the people who got ripped off were given their money back. Just remember the rule of the real hustle. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Saturday's film is Under Siege at 9 here on BBC Three. Mr. Seagal and his ponytail star in that. Next tonight, Kiss Ass Miracles shows you a thing or two.